Monsoon rains have continued to wreak havoc across the country as a number of deaths have now been reported. At least 7 people have been killed, while 5 others remain missing in incidents of floods and landslides from across the country. As different parts of the Kathmandu Valley also remained waterlogged, the haphazard construction and an out-of-place urbanization has come to the fore. In the meantime, the forum to discuss the immediate and long-term public issues, the Parliament, has remained disrupted. Good morning, I'm Abheudaya Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. At least 7 people killed and 5 others missing as monsoon rains wreak havoc across the country, haphazard structures and mismanaged urbanization attributed to waterlogged Kathmandu Valley. Home Minister Narayankaji Shrestha reiterates action will be taken against guilty in the gold smuggling case. Opposition CPN-UML stays firm in its demand for a high-level probe committee. Former Prime Minister of Pakistan Imran Khan barred from politics for 5 years, signaling a massive setback to his political career. The case to be heard in the Islamabad High Court today. And India clinched the 3rd T20 International against host West Indies to keep the 5-match series alive. Surya Kumar Yadav comes good with the bat. The Department of Hydrology and Meteorology has urged the public to stay vigilant as heavy rainfall is predicted in various parts of the country today as well. As the monsoon winds and low-pressure system is near Nepal, incessant rainfall is in the forecast for some provinces. The Meteorological Forecasting Division has predicted heavy rainfall in some places in Koshi, Lumbini, Bagmati, Gandaki and Sudur Pashchim provinces. The death toll from the floods and landslides induced by incessant rainfall that occurred in the past few days has reached 7, while 5 people are still missing. 7 people have died in the floods and landslides in Makwanpur, Dhanusha, Dolkha and Sarlai since yesterday. According to police, 3 people died in the landslide in Makwanpur's Sikre, while 3 others are still missing there. Meanwhile, 2 people are still missing in Dhanusha. 35-year-old Sajan Pariyar and his wife Maya Pariyar of Dhanusha's Ganeshman Charnath Municipality 7 are still missing after being swept away by the Kamala River. Dhanusha Chief District Officer Kashiraj Dahal has informed that search for them is still ongoing. Meanwhile, a person was dead after being buried in a landslide in Dolkha's Sangure, Bigurul Municipality. Police informed that 14-year-old Tirish Tamang of Orang, Bigurul Municipality died while fishing in the Tamakoshi River. However, 4 others who went fishing in the river with Tirish Tamang yesterday evening all returned safely. Meanwhile, Karmola and Bhutkaya villages in Bardia's Thakur Baba Municipality 7 have been inundated due to incessant rainfall. Likewise, 50 houses in Mithunia, Fanta have also been inundated. The flood victims have been rescued and shelter has been provided for them at local schools and homes of their relatives. The water level on the Karnali River is slowly subsiding. According to the measurement recorded at 6 this morning, the water flow of the Saptakoshi River was 206,090 cubic. Saptari's DSP Narendra Karki informed that 25 of the 56 barrage doors have been opened. Meanwhile, landslide has obstructed the Bhimdatta Highway in Sudur Pashchim province. With the obstruction of the highway that connects 7 hilly districts, many vehicles and hundreds of passengers have been stranded. Elsewhere in Dang, the Ghorai Lamahi road section has been obstructed due to landslide. Meanwhile, more than 500 houses in Kailali have been inundated. Meanwhile, back in the Kathmandu Valley, the downpour on Monday night waterlogged different parts of Kathmandu. A haphazard urbanization has been attributed to the waterlogged scene almost every year in recent time. The main opposition CPN-UML has obstructed the parliament even after the Minister for Home Affairs Narayankaji Shrestha furnished his answers regarding the 1 quintal gold scandal. The meeting of the House of Representatives yesterday was adjourned amid CPN-UML's obstruction. CPN-UML that has been demanding a high-level investigation committee to probe the gold scandal obstruction, the parliament yesterday citing that the Home Minister's answers were far from convincing. The main opposition, while obstructing the parliament, also alleged of a possible nexus of the Home Minister and the Finance Minister in the gold scandal. Addressing the questions raised at the Parliament, Home Minister Shrestha said that the Central Investigation Bureau (CIB) of Nepal Police must be given the required time to conduct their investigations on the scandal. He urged the main opposition to allow the investigations to be conducted and raise questions if they had doubts. Minister Shrestha has pledged to review the Trivandrum International Airport's security and take actions against those involved in the smuggling of the gold. He said that actions would be taken against leaders and no one would be spared, irrespective of their position, if they are found guilty. Meanwhile, lawmakers of the ruling coalition blame the main opposition for delaying issues of public concerns by obstructing the parliament. Lawmakers of other parties said that the parliament had been completely influenced by three main parties. The meeting of the House of Representatives has remained obstructed since 26th of July. The next meeting has been called for 1 p.m. today. All eyes are on the Central Investigation Bureau of Nepal Police (CIB) as it moves ahead with the investigation into the 100 kilogram of gold smuggling. The Department of Revenue investigation, before handling the case to the Bureau, had arrested 18 individuals, including foreign nationals, and the Bureau has now 40 days of the 60 days remaining to conclude the probe. Apart from Rukmina Subba, who was granted bail for health reasons, the department has handed over 17 of the other arrested to the Bureau for further investigation. The Department of Revenue investigation has termed the Chinese network that runs the gold racket in Nepal as massive. Belgian national with Chinese origin, Dawa Chiring, who was the last among 18 to be arrested, has been identified as the main leader so far. Another Indian national with Chinese origin, Tupten, was arrested before Dawa reportedly made the arrangements with airport staff for smuggling. Likewise, the department's investigation revealed the involvement of Harka Rai and Rajendra Rai, the two agents at the customs who helped with the management of the vehicles and scooters. Rajendra Rai was also reportedly the one who suggested registering the Ready Trade company that would import brake shoes with hidden gold. Tupten, meanwhile, previously had already served 3 years in jail for smuggling rhino horns. Likewise, Chinese national Lin, who was arrested from the Trivandrum International Airport, was responsible for transferring the gold to a store in Dokha. The Department of Revenue investigation has suspected involvement of more Chinese nationals. It may be recalled that gold concealed in electronic cigarettes and vapes had been confiscated from the Trivandrum International Airport a few months ago with the involvement of Chinese nationals. The CIB has suspected the same network may be behind the current 100 kilogram gold smuggling case. The government has established the rapid bioassay pesticide residue unit in 7 of the biggest vegetable markets in the country with adequate number of skilled human resource. However, testing of vegetables have stopped since 28th of July after the government reduced the budget for the units that have been in operation since 9 years. This has put the health of the general public at risk. Fruits and vegetables in Jhapa's Birtamor wholesale market come from eastern Nepal and India that have been tested for the past 6 years in a laboratory. 2 skilled staff have been provided to run the laboratory, which has stopped operation since 2 weeks, saying that the government had cut down on their salaries and allowances and had failed to provide kits in the pretext of economic crisis. The officials at Agro Market Management Committee have urged for the resumption of the laboratory considering the threat of vegetables and fruits containing pesticide residues. The Consumer Rights Forum has also corresponded with the Ministry of Agriculture in this regard. Meanwhile, the Chief District Officer says he is unaware of the existence of such laboratory and the reason it stopped operation. Government officials say the testing have stopped as the lab staff had to be called back due to lack of budget. The budget cut down has also halted operation in laboratories in Kathmandu's Kalimati, Birtamor, Butol, Lalbandi, Pokhara, Nepalganj and Ataria vegetable markets. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces regarding ways to ease public's access to food. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
सुपथ मूल्य पसल सञ्चालन गरी होम डेलिभरीको सेवा मार्फत खाद्यान्न उपलब्ध सहज रूपमा गराउन सकिन्छ।
स्थानीय बालीहरू जुन छ त्यसलाई बाहिर अन्यत्र नपठाएर यहीँको स्थानीय लोकल खाद्यहरू चाहिँ प्रयोग गर्नुपर्छ।
स्थानीय तहले स्थानीय स्तरमा बाँझो रहेको जमिनमा चाहिँ उत्पादनसँग जोड्नु चाहिँ प्रमुख भूमिका देखिन्छ।
इन्डियामा चाइनाबाट आश्रित छौँ, अब यहीँ गर्न सक्यो भने त कति खेतहरू बाँझै नै छ, युवाहरू त्यतिकै विदेश गइरहेछ।
अन्न बालीहरू हामी आफ्नै देशमा उत्पादन गरेर त्यो विदेशमा जाने पुँजी पनि हामी रोक्न सक्थ्यौँ।
सरकारले यहाँ उपलब्धि गराउनु पर्यो सबै कुरा कि हामीलाई बाहिर नजानु पर्यो।
गभर्नमेन्टले सहज तरिकाले जनतामा राहत दिने गरी काम होस्।
स्थानीय पालिकाहरूले चाहिँ बजार अनुगमनदेखि लिएर बजारमा चाहिँ निगरानी बढाउनु पर्ला।
बिउ बिजन र तपाईको मल खाद चाहिँ सही रेटमा अनि सही समयमा चाहिँ बाँड्ने काम गरिदिनु पर्यो।
दुर्गम क्षेत्रमा पनि यसको सहजीकरण गरिदिनु पर्यो।
किसानको चाहिँ उत्पादनका मूल्य निर्धारण गरेर त्यो बिचौलियाहरूको हातमा खाद्यान्न जानुबाट रोक्नलाई सरकारले पहल गर्नु पर्यो।
The country's trade deficit in the previous fiscal year stood at 1,454 billion rupees, while 11.11 billion rupees has been spent on import of cosmetic items alone. Nepal had imported cosmetics worth 11.11 billion rupees last fiscal year. Perfumes worth 350 million rupees, lipsticks worth 360 million, and cosmetics for eyes worth 190 million rupees have been imported. Likewise, body lotion worth 460 million rupees and shampoo worth 630 million rupees have been imported. 820 million rupees has been spent on import of hair color, oil, cream, and conditioner. The cosmetics are imported from India as well as the world's richest countries, Luxembourg, Qatar, Japan, Kuwait, the USA, and France, among other countries. Meanwhile, the government lacks the ability to test the quality of cosmetics that are imported. The country had imported goods worth 1,611 billion rupees from 171 countries. According to data, the country imports more than 8,700 types of goods. Nepal has been spending the amount equivalent to the country's annual budget in importing goods, while export has been limited to 157 billion rupees. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What's your take on the dissatisfaction over the bill related to Federal Education Act? Your options are A, does not meet vested interests, B, bill is against the sentiment of federalism, and C, protest for the sake of protest. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the international update. Former Prime Minister of Pakistan Imran Khan has been barred from holding public office for 5 years by the country's electoral authorities. The decision was announced by the Election Commission of Pakistan 3 days after Khan was sentenced to 3 years in prison for corruption. Yesterday's announcement also means Khan will be dismissed as an MP. He maintains the charges are politically motivated, but the Pakistani government denies this. 70-year-old Khan was elected as Pakistan's leader in 2018, but was ousted in a no-confidence vote last year after falling out with the country's powerful military. His guilty verdict on Saturday was centered on charges he incorrectly declared details of presents from foreign dignitaries and proceeds from their alleged sale. The gifts, reported to be worth more than 140 million Pakistani rupees, included Rolex watches, a ring, and a pair of cufflinks. Local media reported that Khan's disqualification from running in any elections for 5 years was in line with that guilty ruling. Under Pakistani laws, a convicted person cannot run for public office for a period set out by the Election Commission of Pakistan. His legal team has challenged the guilty verdict, and the case will be heard in the Islamabad High Court later today. The former Prime Minister is currently being held in a prison near Islamabad. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.